Okay, well, we are live, and let's see, we're going to see if we can get somebody in here, some viewers, to join us for our 100 Days of Me call with Chaunda of Bella Fitness Group. Um, let's see, bear with me one moment.
That's the way you eat it. She said you can log on to it.
Join us.
You can't join in. There's a bunch of women in me.
Let's see if everyone is here. We're going to give people a few minutes for them to join in onto the call. So
Okay.
hopefully everyone is able to get in. They should have all the links to join us. Okay, we have someone up there that said they're watching.
Do you have it, Lebo? Because on this.
I use since I have Gmail. It's part of Gmail. Like Google is, it's all part of that. I've never really.
You sent me a message on May 22nd. You sent me a message.
Requesting you to join it, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I
Can you whisper? No. No.
Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. We're just going to give a few people an opportunity to join us in the next. We'll get started at about 8:05, I want to say. So give them 3 more minutes to join in to view this call, and we're going to learn a whole lot from Chaunda of Bella Fitness Group. And this is in conjunction to 100 Days of Me. And what that is actually we are in the middle of there are several women that reached out to me and said they want to do some type of lifestyle change. And so what I've done is I've decided every Sunday in the month of June, we are going to get together on a Google Plus call, and we're just going to talk about the things, matters of the heart. And one that is close and dear to my heart is fitness, and I could not think of anyone else to join us but Chaunda of Bella Fitness Group. So again, we're going to give some viewers about 2 more minutes, and then we'll really get in depth. But I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the event. Chaunda is already on the call. I want to be sensitive to her time. So at 8:05, we are going to physically start and get going. So I look forward to speaking with you. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and submit them into the question area. And I will read those questions to Chaunda shortly. Thank you.
It's the video. This
All right. Okay, I think I've muted myself. Let me see if Chaunda, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you. Hold on one second. Let's see. It's showing you muted. I'm unmuted. Okay, now you should be able to hear me better. Can you hear me? The sound is not coming for you, though. Okay, we're going to give it one more try. Okay, why isn't it letting me unmute you? Sorry for the technical. For some reason, I cannot hear Chaunda now, and we were ready to go, and now I can't hear her. Hold on one second. Okay, I think I lost Chaunda, and see if I can get her to dial back in. It hung up. But so I was real excited about doing this. There she is. Hold on. Let's see if I can hear her now. Let me mute myself and maybe. Okay, we are live. Chaunda, if you can say something just so I can see if I can hear you. No. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me,
Yeah,
Lisa?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, good, good.
Like, what is going on? So first off, I want to thank you for taking time to join us. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We have a couple of viewers in the who have joined us. I'm very excited about that. So again, this is our call called 100 Days of Me, and what that is it's simply a Facebook group that was started after the Juice and Learn I had hosted, and several of the women that attended, along with myself, my mother, and my daughter-in-law, felt like we all wanted to do a lifestyle change. And I figured I usually like to empower women and inspire other women to join me when I'm doing something. So I figured let's put a Facebook group together. And what has grown out of the Facebook group is now, since it's June, I figured we would do an amazing 30-day, let's get it together, let's figure out what we're doing. So for the kickoff of that, which is June 1st today, I've asked my friend Chaunda of Bella Fitness Group to join us and explain to us and let you know a little bit about her history, and also tell us how fitness plays into the body, mind, and spirit of the lifestyle change. So again, this is not a diet. We are going to change everything. So without further ado, if I can have Chaunda just give us a brief bio of who you are and how you come to make this awesome change yourself.
Okay. Hey, Lisa. Thanks
Hi
so much. Hello,
there.
everyone. First, Lisa, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here. So, but a little bit about me. I back in 2007, after having, the whole marriage lifestyle and then stay-at-home mom um, period of my life, I had 3 children. So postpartum depression set in after my last daughter was born in 2001. And so just over the years, though, between the babies, I gained weight. But on top of that, when I look back at it, I wasn't really living a healthy lifestyle either. So yeah, I wasn't working out. I had never picked up a weight in my life. I had never jumped a rope since I was a kid. I didn't, I'd never even heard of a personal trainer. Like, I was a cheerleader in high school. I was in band. I was a ballerina. And in college, I was dancing, but I never went to a gym. So fast forward 2007, I had gotten up to 227 pounds. And at my height, I'm really little, so I'm only like 5'1", maybe. But 227 pounds was a lot. So I was on antidepressants for the depression that kind of warped out of control. So what happened was I had already tried every diet in the world during the eight years that I was overweight. I had a moment where I went to the doctor, and the doctor was kind of like, okay, so you need to lose weight. And my first question to her was, okay, so what can you give me to do that? I need a diet pill. I mean, I need something. What? Okay, so because I was borderline high blood pressure, had never had that problem before, and she says, okay, so you need to get your weight off. So they did not buy into that. She was like, try Weight Watchers. I was like, I've done it 3 times, and I gained more weight than I ever, after I stopped. And she said, well, you're just going to have to get healthy. So fast forward, I went ahead and decided that I was going to get healthy the long way, the hard way, but the way that God intended for us to kind of live, and to pull everything back. Everything had gotten kind of out of control. I took control of my life. I decided to start by what I was eating. And I had to empower myself with knowledge and learn, what is healthy eating? What does it mean to eat clean? And that was something that I didn't know. You don't learn that really during the years. As a child, I wasn't really taught about healthy eating or whole grains. And so when I learned that, it was just kind of like, really, this is a portion size? Oh my gosh, this is what clean eating entails? Who's eating kale back in 1980? Like, who does that? So my whole thing became that the hardest part was the nutrition, because my thing that I had been doing at that time, I was just kind of eating 1 meal a day. KFC was my friend, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Oreo cookies I kept on standby in the drawer 24/7. So candy, sweets, there was no filter as to what I would eat. So she got the nutrition in line. The next thing I learned how to do was to work out effectively. And so for me, in order to change my body, cardio was one component, but I added weight training, which is really, really important. And I didn't know anything about that. So lifting weights, using machines, using my own body weight, that kind of stuff just came to me, and I was like, okay, so this is hard. Well, is this what I'm supposed to do? But then it became a passion. So after losing about 115, 120 pounds, it took me 18 months to get the weight off doing it this way. And that was working out every day. That was changing what I ate. It changed I also changed when I ate the foods that I was eating. And then just kind of taking care of me. And so what I've learned in the interim since losing the weight, it's been 7 years since I started that journey in 2007. I'm helping other people kind of regain control of their lives and teaching them the stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to eat. I didn't know, how do you work out? Can we just get up and go for a walk at the park and take your dog and smell the flowers? No, you can't do that. That's not going to get the weight off. Now, when you get to your goal weight, that's nice for maintenance. It could be on your down day. You can do a day of active rest, which that's what I recommend on your off days. But you got to work out hard. So that's what Bella Fitness is about. It's about teaching people to go past their comfort zone. I was really comfortable and really fat, but it was safe. Nobody looked at me. I didn't have to be anything. I didn't have to be this person. I didn't have to get dressed up. I didn't have to change my clothes. I didn't have to wash my face, because I would just kind of I just disappeared. And now reclaiming that, it takes courage. you know, to step out and say, hey, this is who God had me to be. And I was just in that space. So a lot of my clients that I help every day, I see myself in them. I look at them and they're kind of trying to hide. They're trying to just blend in. And it's because that is, number one, a safety zone. It's a safe space. It's difficult to go into a gym and you're overweight. You feel self-conscious. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to wear. How many pounds do you start with? You can't do a push-up yet. You jump, you're out of breath. Like, you know, it's really hard. So when you come to me at the studio, it's a lot of times it's one-on-one. It's a small group. We take it day by day. It's one, you know, small victory at a time. So, and the way that I do this, because I've been there. And so that's me. That's my story. And I'm still, you know, a work in progress. So I just hope to kind of inspire someone to kind of say, hey, I want the best life. I want to do the hard thing. And we can do hard things, you know, and so that's kind of my story, and my message is that even, you know, getting healthy, it may not really be easy, but it is the best thing you can do for yourself. It's the greatest reward, the greatest investment. You know, it's so much better than a Coach bag or, you know, a Birkin bag and some stilettos. I like all that stuff, but I just want to be healthy before all of that. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I cannot tell you, as many times as I have heard the story, every time I hear it, I learn something new.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it's just this time for me, hearing you say that, it really showed how you encompassated mind, body, and spirit in the whole thing. You encompass the entire piece in order to move forward. So everyone says, I've heard the 70-30 or 80-20 of mental and physical, but to physically hear you say it this time, it showed how every piece you had to encompass. And so even the small things like, you know, taking a bubble bath matters so much to you now. But for me, even on a personal note, and I don't know if, you know, this resonates with anyone else, but even on a personal note, when you just mentioned that sometimes you just felt like you were melting into a crowd, I started to feel that way, and I said, this is not me. Not that I have to be the loudest one in the room, but I've always been the one, when I walk in a room, you command a crowd. So now that I feel like I've gained so much weight, I'm like, this is not, I don't feel comfortable in this skin. And then being 4'9", it definitely is not a comfort zone for me at all. So I have made the personal choice. I've kept the size 6s in the closet.
Okay, good.
I've decided, I said, I'm not, you know, it's been every month or whatever, I would say I would throw them away. I'm just going to be happy with who I am and where I am. But it's not who I am. And so, and not so much from a vanity standpoint, just from a healthy standpoint, that I realized that this is important to understand the mental behind why I was feeling this way. And it took me a while, because even as far as the healthy eating, there were things that I would dabble in. I tried the vegan lifestyle. I realized that wasn't for me, that's not something I really wanted to do. But I enjoy vegetarian lifestyle. I'm still getting accustomed to eating kale, because collards are my absolute favorite.
Yes.
But kale, I understand, is really good. So I figured, well, my daughter-in-law actually today made me a pot of kale, similar to what we had at your last event.
The workshop,
IMU University. And I encourage everyone to, we'll give, once we wrap up, I'll let Chaunda give you all her information so you can come out to a workshop. It's mind-changing, body-changing. I mean, just your entire spirit will be lifted after that. But after eating that kale, I was so excited. I said, okay, I can do this.
Yes, you can. And you know what happens, Lisa? Talking about nutrition, you know, it is so important that people understand that, you know, healthy food doesn't have to taste bad. The things that give us that trigger, that craving, when we fix that craving, and we give into it, that's the kind of food that when I say, because I'm known for this saying, Jack LaLanne said it, and I never forgot it. I read it in one of his books. He said, if it tastes good, spit it out. Now, you know, he was 90-something when he passed away recently. But so to him, it was like he didn't really care if it tasted good. But for me, what I've learned in my journey over the past 7 years, I'm not going to just break out and I'd like for food to taste good, but it's a secondary to the quality of the food, and you don't get that You don't get that initially. It is a process to appreciate that food. You're doing it to stay alive. Really, what I'm doing it for is to kind of heal my body from the inside out, keep my immune system strong, and to make sure that I'm properly fueled to do the workouts that I want to do. So now that's taking precedence. But before, when I was overweight, food was my drug of choice. So that's what I used to comfort me. When I was taking care of 3 babies, the last 2 kids were only 18 months apart. So when I'm caring for the kids, I wasn't taking care of me. I didn't buy any new clothes for myself. I was too fat. Like, nothing looked cute. It wasn't comfortable. If it didn't have elastic in it, if it wasn't a 2X or 3X t-shirt, I didn't want to buy it anyway. So my kids were always sharp. They were always healthy. I made sure they ate well, but then my reward was something unhealthy. It was something sweet or something greasy, and then I would go to sleep after that. So what I've learned is that to take the value out of the food and think about the quality of the food. So ask yourself, every time you sit down to eat, is this food getting me closer to my goal or not? Also ask, is this food of a quality nature? In other words, did I pay a little more for the food? Because food is, you can tell kind of the quality of the food depending upon the amount you pay for it. So if you look at McDonald's, if you are actually still going to McDonald's, which we hope that you are not, patronizing. Anybody still, I'm not hating on McDonald's, shout out to McDonald's, but the whole thing is, there are so many other options. We need to be cooking at home. But if you go there, you can look on the documentary. That stuff is like the most unhealthy stuff is the cheapest. But if you wanted to get a bottle of water, that's like $3. But if you want to get a soda, you can get the 32 ounce for 99 cents, or sweet tea, and then free refills. But a bottle of water, really? So you have to pay a little more, and you have to get over that whole thing. And I try to buy organic as much as possible. Only when I can afford it. But I try and think about the quality of what I put into my body, because I want it to be as natural as it can be. So you want to think about food, eating food in its most natural state as possible. So you don't want to denature your food and cook it too hard. You want to stay away from charring foods. I know all of us, we like to grill out, and we like the burnt taste on the chicken. But a lot of times when you char your foods, it's a precursor to cancer. It's just kind of, it will build up, and so the toxins, the carcinogens that are in the charred food. So I like to kind of tell everyone, try to roast as much as you can. You want to try not to overcook your veggies. If you can steam them in the microwave or just a pot of water. But people, we don't have to add all of the what is it, the hog maws, and what do we put in, like the kind of,
smoke this and
school
smoke
stuff.
that, and
just kind of ease away. And what happens to the palate? It takes about 30 days to change your palate, and if you do this enough, your body will respond. It wants to take, naturally, the body is going to take the path of least resistance, which is to sit on the couch, eat a heavy meal, sit on the couch, go to sleep. The body likes that. It doesn't have to work as efficiently. Things can kind of slow down. You become sluggish. Your metabolism stops, and it slows down, and you just add more weight. So the body naturally wants to do that, but that's not what God intended. If you think about it, we were made to chase things, to hunt our food initially. We had to go out and prepare food. We weren't just going to a drive-through. We didn't have sodas. We ate nuts and berries and grains and all of that. So I try to keep that in my mind, and it's a challenge, because in life, you're going to find that most of the people around you, you're going to have to let them know, hey, I'm not the same girl that I was yesterday or last week or last year. This is where I'm going, and I really would love your support. So I had to have that talk with my kids. Mommy can't eat the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese anymore. No, we're not going to KFC today. No, you can't get the chicken nuggets anymore. We're not doing Happy Meals. So, and they were little then. So I had to say to my ex-husband the same thing, and he was addicted as well to food. So he really didn't understand why I wanted to get clean, as I call it now. To this day, he's an emotional eater. Food is his drug of choice. And so I look at him now, and I see, that God saved me, but everybody has to get it in their own time.
Their own time.
To change your life, yes, you do have to change your environment. You have to let people around you know that I could use you on my support team, and find people who encourage and lift you up, and who don't say, girl, let's go out on our regular Friday night and get wings and margaritas. No, we're not going to do that anymore. But if you want to go over here, we can sit down to Seasons 52. I can have the asparagus with the salmon. We can do that. Now, it may cost you twice as much as the wings,
but it's worth it.
But it's worth it's for you. It's like,
absolutely.
that's what we have to realize, is that I don't want to be cheap, you know, for me. You know, but if it's
Yeah.
something like jewelry, or and I look at a lot of my clients, and it's a thing that I have to fight, is the first thing out of their mouths is usually I can't afford it. But I ask them to, when they write down for me, we'll do an experiment sometimes, and I'll say, I want you to write down every single time then the amount of money you spend when you go to eat anywhere outside of your house.
Mm.
How much did you spend this week at Starbucks? For a Monster or for a bottled water. By the time they add up all of those things, how many times did you get your nails done? Did you go get some new
Right.
lotion? Did you go to Bath and Body Works and get a candle? Because I'm guilty of that. Things like that, we don't really think about it, but that's 1 month of personal training or 1 month of boot camp. And
Right.
you
And
know
that
what I
was,
mean? That's how you have to do it.
absolutely. And that's what I was going to ask you. And do you have your clients actually keep a journal when they first start with you? Are they supposed to keep a journal, or that first week, do they keep a journal of the things that they eat,
Yes,
the
and
money they
that's
spend?
absolutely. What I have them do, once we get over the whole cost, because I try to teach people about value, and it's not about price, but it's about value. You have an accountability partner, you have a coach, you have someone who wants this as much as you do, you have someone who believes in you when maybe the people at home, they don't get it, because their
Right.
journey may not be yours. So what I have them do, the first thing is the nutrition. So I have a form that I've created, and I ask people to log every single thing that goes into their mouths. I don't care if it's a Tootsie Roll, a peppermint. I need to know what time, you ate those meals, how much water. Also, I've learned that our emotions trigger what we eat. If
Yes.
you had a stressful day that day, and I can look at your meals and say, hey, this day what happened? I see that you went to and got a cupcake, and then later on that night you had a milkshake. And then maybe
Mhm.
where I have emotional state, stressed out, lost my job. Okay, boom. There it
Right.
is. So we
Okay.
have to find solutions and balance. So that's what I do, is I have people write that for about 2 weeks. We log. Then I take a red pen and I go through and mark it up a little bit and say, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do this. Move this meal here. Let's take this out, put this in. And it's kind of like checks and balances, and also an experiment to see how your body responds to certain foods. So, because everybody doesn't need the same diet, but just a whole clean diet is what we pull from. But some
Hmm.
people are carb sensitive, some people we they don't get enough nutrients, and so we see all of that, and just them by writing down what they're eating and how they're feeling. If their energy levels are lower, I've learned to kind of try different things, and normally we will see a change. And once we make those tweaks in the nutrition, I can tell, because their performance improves when that's how I know they're fueling properly. They're getting more protein, their body is changing. But there are things that I know most people come in, they don't get enough protein in their diets. They're kind of afraid that they're going to have too much protein. And then another thing is that as women, we think that we're going to get big and bulky like a man if we lift weights or if
Right.
we drink protein shakes, but those are all just myths. And unless you're going to take steroids or testosterone shots, it's just your body needs weight training, because that's what changes how your
Mm.
body looks and sculpts your body. Now, cardio, you could Zumba all day, but it will not give you a bicep. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not going to build any muscles in your body at all. Will it
Yeah.
drop fat? Absolutely. I think Zumba is okay in a healthy diet, in a healthy lifestyle, because you can incorporate that as your cardio, but you still got to hit the weights. You still got to do the push-ups. You still got to do the dips, and you got to tie all of that in with nutrition. So if we can get those three things, normally people come in, they'll be like, oh, I walked for 3 miles yesterday. I was like, okay, so then did you hit the weights after that, or did you? No, I just did those 3 miles, and they just like, whoa. But their bodies will not change. Have you ever seen someone who's on the treadmill? They get off, they look the same way as when they got on
Yes.
through stuff. That's
Yeah.
because they're not. You got to add resistance to the muscles so that they change and they grow, and you become curvier. You become more fit, and the more lean muscle mass your body has, the more fat you burn at rest. So anybody who's just
Okay.
doing cardio, as soon as you step off the treadmill, your fat burning stops. But if you had done cardio, then you went and hit the weights, you get a 3-hour window post burn is what we call it. So once you
Okay.
stop, I'm sitting down, I'm in the bed, I'm still burning fat because I've built that lean muscle mass and I've worked those muscles. So that's what I learned, and that's the thing that changed my body back to how it used to be when I was much younger is that the weight training, and I do go a little heavier than
Mhm.
probably most girls and most women, but I still push my clients to not be afraid of the weight, because that's where you're going to see the greatest change. I mean, I could have you run 20 miles a day, but if we don't hit the weights, you won't get the curves. Your waist won't kind of come in and give you that symmetry. And I still want you to be a woman. It's not about skinny. It is about
Right.
fit and beautiful and healthy and feeling confident that you're strong enough. If I say I need you to lift this and carry it down there, you need to be able to carry that 90 pounds over there and keep it moving. That's quality of life
Absolutely.
stuff. You never know how much stuff, what you're going to have to carry, what your parents are get sick. You want to be able to pick them up. You want to be able to lift things. So that's how I tell people, think about you just being the strongest, most fit you. It could be at whatever weight. As long as your body mass is healthy, I don't care if you got the biggest butt in the world. It's going to be a firm butt. I'm going to need to feel those glutes in there. I don't care what size it is. Because as Black women, I love our curves.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to take that away, so I don't want you to be skinny. It's not about that. But it is about getting you to where you can run a flight of stairs, then you can run another flight. Then I say, take these dumbbells. I want you to run around this building. Then when you get back, I need 50 push-ups. And you can do it. That's amazing.
I am a nervous wreck. I'm supposed to be doing this tomorrow. But you know what? I'm really excited, because the one thing that I realized is I live right across the street from the park. And so oftentimes we would go out and we would do the walk. And like you said, I would look at the flowers and, oh, that waterfall is nice. And then I would get a little, like, okay, I'm tired after one time around. And it wasn't even a full mile. Okay, I would get a little, not winded, but just say, okay, we've done enough. But I realize now my body was not changing. So all that time doing all of that, I really don't feel like I really gave it my all. But I did do the Zumba, and I lost quite a bit of weight with the Zumba.
Yes.
I did not incorporate. Like, after the Zumba class was done, I literally walked to my car, drank my bottle of water, and drove back to Decula. But now that I was watching Oprah Soul Sunday, and she was talking about Maya Angelou, and just her favorite quote that she always uses, and the one she kept saying over and over again: when you know better, you do better.
You do better, absolutely.
And
that's my platform, is that I want people to understand what I've learned. And so you doing the run and then trying to go around the park, the effort is there, and it does pay off. The Zumba, again, I think it's really good because it's an hour of steady cardio. I like the Zumba instructors who do incorporate some squatting at least, and maybe a little bit of plyo. So you can find a Zumba class, but you still have to come home. And I always recommend, if you do the Zumba class, promise yourself that you do 30 minutes of weight training after that class. So and then you got to get your protein in within 30 minutes of your workout. So that's another thing that could have helped your body to really begin to build more lean muscle mass. So your muscles are they're most alive and open to intake of protein after your workout. So I always get my protein in as soon as I hit the car. So I usually have 4 or 5 boiled eggs that I have in the car when it was not cold outside, or I have my protein powder. You just add water, you shake it up in the car, you drinking it, it's done. You got about 24 grams of protein, and you need to get that in. But I didn't know that 7 years ago. What was a protein shake? I never even heard of it.
Right.
So when I started researching, I wanted my body, I wanted to look curvy. I wanted to have muscles, but I didn't want to look like a guy. I wanted to look like a woman who was strong, thick, and healthy. And that's what I tried to do. But lean where I needed to be lean. I wanted the collarbone to be sticking out. My clavicles. I wanted that little stuff like that. Like, I wanted my shoulders when I wear a strapless dress. I need that shoulder to pop out.
Yes.
So it was stuff like that matters to me. And you're not going to get that at Zumba. You're not going to get that just walking at the park. But it's a part of a healthy, you got to have everything. So I would use, if you like Zumba, I would totally use it. But go ahead and come back home or do it. You could do in the morning. You could do your Zumba in the morning. At night, you need to do some stuff at home. You're going to do your push-ups. So what I do is I give people a fitness prescription when you first start with me. If you're doing personal training, the first few weeks you'll have maybe about the first month to 5 weeks you'll have homework, and what that's designed to do is to get you conditioned to doing something every day. You don't get a day off from working out when you first start. Like, you got to hit it every day, and it's
like 7 days a week.
That would be 7 every day. So, and what I recommend, and the reason why more so than of being I want it to be more it's to create a lifestyle and to create a habit. If you only work out once or twice a week, your body is like, girl, the next time you do this, it is gonna be even harder. Like, don't even think that it's gonna get easy. But if you do it every day, you beat your body down. Your mind becomes stronger than, you know, your body. Because if your brain is saying, hey, we working out today no matter what, I'm sore from yesterday, I'm gonna at least get an hour in today. So I recommend initially working out every day. You can do it every 20 minutes in the morning, 20 in the middle of the day. You can break it up, but it needs to be intense. And within that first 2 weeks, I show people. You see how you're feeling right
Oh,
now
did
with
we
this?
lose her?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You may have. Okay, she's coming
Okay.
back.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes,
Okay. But
I
yeah,
can hear you.
it's a part of a healthy lifestyle, and I just want to teach people how you need to feel when you work out. Can you hear me? I think I may have lost you. Can you hear me,
No, no, I
Lisa?
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I
got
can
you.
hear you.
So we just don't know how, like the day that you were at the park, it was hard. It was, you know, a little bit hard. But when you come tomorrow to boot camp, she's coming to boot camp tomorrow. Lisa's going to get it in. We're going to turn up tomorrow night. Well, we're going to turn up. But I want you to not be afraid of how you're going to feel the first 2 weeks. Like, just, I don't even want you to underestimate it. You're going to be overwhelmed. You cannot breathe. But you can breathe, and you're not going to die, and you can do
Yes.
it.
Yes.
If you remember that, put that
Yes.
in your head, that no matter how difficult it is, and I don't ask you to do everything the first couple of days. I want you to take it at your own pace. So if we have them doing 300 jump ropes, if you got 30, I'll take them.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna
that
push
is,
for
it's just
300
taking
if
it,
I can
making the
do
effort.
it.
Oh, you can
Yes.
absolutely do it. I'm sure you can do it.
I'm gonna push it. What
Oh,
I wanted to find out from you for people that may not be in the Gwinnett area or at reach for you, what would you recommend for them as far as a workout? I know you said 7 days a week. Would 1 hour be sufficient and they break it up, or do they
yes.
need to?
I totally recommend 1 hour of a day. Now, the 7 days is if you are really committed and you're ready to get in here and knock it out. Everybody's not going to be as gung-ho as I was when I started. I just was ready. I was done, and I did it every day. And it was actually became the gift to myself. Like, you have to want it so badly that you get up from the bed and you're like, I'm going every day. Like, but everybody's not going to be there. So if you can't do 7 days a week, I say do 5. And give yourself 2 days off. You can space them out whenever you need them, but the more you do, the greater your results will be. And that's what I encourage people to
Okay.
do. Give
Okay.
more to get more. But if you're just coming in and you do, like, 30 minutes here, okay, well, that your conditioning doesn't have a chance to really grow. So conditioning means you improve your
Right.
stamina, improve your breathing, and your ability to push through an exercise for a period of time. That's the number one problem with most people, no matter your weight, is when you come in, you're deconditioned. And that's really the only reason for the 7 days. And you do that for, I recommend, about 22 to 30 days of every day. You do something every day. Now every day you don't have to do it to the same intensity. You could do your walk, but I would have you incorporate a walk, jog, push-ups on the bench, walk, jog, take your jump rope with you. That's the kind of workout you would do if you go to the park. So there are so many things that I suggest, and
Okay.
it's just a way to kind of improve you got to burn more calories to drop weight. So the good thing about it is once you get to your goal weight, you can taper down on the workouts, because then you're in maintenance. You're not really trying to lose anymore. You want to maintain and build more lean muscle 3 to 5 days a week, right? You just got to get over the hump. You got to mountain, you got to push a little harder to get up the mountain. But after you ease out, you're going to plateau, then you're going to kind of continue to lose a little, and you'll
Yes. Yes.
reach your goal. It gets so easy, so now if I don't work out, it's not even a big deal, because I put on so much muscle mass that you can't lose the muscle mass like that. So if I
Right.
miss it today, I'll go in tomorrow and I get this. It's a gradual thing. So do it as much as you can, and I think you'll see that your body will become more conditioned, and the workouts they're not as hard, a little more time to them.
Right. And I know we spoke about Zumba, but what other things would you incorporate? Like I know at IMU, the workshop, we spoke about you had comedic yoga class that was going on. Now, would you also recommend incorporating yoga several
Yes.
times a week or once a week or?
At least once or twice a week, and I think yoga is one of the best things you can do for your body when you're going through this journey. Because I kind of feel like emotionally, weight is such an emotional issue for many of us. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the weight. It's usually it's a symptom of something far greater. And my challenge as a trainer is to figure out what that problem really is. And it's usually not about the weight. So yoga is one of the things that you can do to kind of find your center, your balance, and it also improves your flexibility. And yoga has a lot of internal organ healing properties. So it just has a lot of great benefits. But it works well for my clients who are older or who have disabilities. Yoga is one of the best things you can do. So incorporate something that you like. So even if you don't want to do a boot camp every day, you could go swimming, you could play tennis, you can do gardening, you could do Sean T's T25, you could do a what is it, cardio abs, anything. You got to just use your variety, and one day you might do Stone Mountain. So I don't want you to do the same thing. Challenge your body,
Right.
switch it up, add the yoga, throw that in. One day you're going to do the Zumba, then you're going to do boot camp. So you might throw in a couple of personal training sessions. And so the more variety you get, it keeps your body guessing, and you kind of continue to avoid the plateaus.
Okay, that sounds really good. Now, I know we spoke briefly about diet and the things that you've changed as well as far as your diet. And you mentioned after a workout, you pretty much would have protein. Now, for me, I would constantly think, sometimes when I would go to Lifetime Fitness, I would do my workout or attend my class and then go downstairs and get a protein shake that they had already. And a lot of times they're really conscious about healthy or whatever,
Right.
and sometimes they're not. So a lot of times it was packed with a ton of fruit and a little bit of protein. So is there
Yes.
any particular protein that you would recommend over another one, or amount of grams or anything like that, that someone should be aware of? Because now I'm going to get some protein and sit it in my car, have my bottle of
Yeah.
water. Just that simple. I didn't realize it. So is there anything you could recommend um, that they would do as far as, instead of worrying about having so much of fruit
And
drink?
just pop it in.
Okay, just get something really simple to pop in, and then that would be it. So
Yes.
I think you're fading in and out. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Can
now.
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you now.
Okay, is that good?
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Um,
Yes.
well, for protein, I'm not too picky about the protein, but I would prefer that you just watch the ingredients label on the back. It needs to have no more than 120 grams of 120 calories or so. You don't want to get the ones that have 200 calories, 150 calories. You want a lean protein. So just look on the back of the label. The other thing you want to watch is the grams of protein. 24 grams should be the minimum, and a good protein powder like Optimum Nutrition, they have one that I use every day. It's called Gold Standard Whey Protein, WHEY. It is a milk-based protein, so if you're lactose intolerant, you want to look for something that is either plant-based or one that is an isolate, which does not have milk in it. So, because it will upset your tummy if you do have lactose issues. But you can get it at Walmart. You can get it from Vitamin Shop. Just depends on how much you want to pay for it. You could get any flavor. The most important thing is that you supplement that with your regular protein. So I still want you to get natural food. So I still want you to do the grilled chicken, the lean turkey. I want you to get the shrimp and the fish and all of that. But in addition to that, you can throw in 2 shakes a day. So I
Okay.
recommend for weight gain, weight loss, and for muscle gain, it's twice a day. One of them has to be right after your workout, and you could put one in as a snack, like maybe after breakfast. A mid-morning snack could be one. And you and I have talked a little bit about what we put in. Now, every time I do a juice drink, it's more like a protein shake for me, because I always add a scoop of protein, because I like to balance out the sugar from the natural sugars with the protein. So I put in the scoop of protein, and I always do something green in there. So if it's either spinach, kale, or broccoli or something. And that's even in the morning or whenever I have it. If it's after my workouts, if I'm in the car, then obviously I don't do it. But if I'm at home, then I try to get as much nutrition in the shake or the juice drink. So it's not about the fruit for me. I use a little bit of fruit because I want to get, some of the nutrients from the fruit, but I don't want it to overpower the drink and bring too much sugar and too many carbs and calories. But just everything in moderation. You can throw in a few blueberries, a couple of strawberries. Then you got your kale.
Right.
Put some healthy fat in there. It could be a little scoop of peanut butter, or I put in flax seeds and chia seeds for my fat. So we talk a little bit about that, and it's just a trial and error. And you're really good about experimenting. I mean, you're the diva and the guru in the kitchen, so you can. I know you've been good at experiment, and we're going to get you to come in on the next couple of recipes. So,
Yes.
and we're going to make them healthier and keep it moving. But, there's so many things that you can do to be creative, and just watch your portions. That's the main thing I would say. Just put protein in, and it balances it out and helps you to build the lean muscle mass while you're getting the other nutrients as well.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to touch
But in
on.
addition to that, the only other thing that I really recommend is
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Lucy?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. I was just saying that I also recommend just like a basic multivitamin.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a little delay.
Okay. But basic multivitamin in addition to compensate for what you may not be getting nutritionally. That's all.
Okay. One last thing that I wanted to talk to you about was in regards to we spoke about the nutrition, we spoke about the just getting out there and exercising and things like that. The one thing that I always think as I walk past the mirror is, if I could just get rid of my midsection but keep my boobs, or if I could just get rid of my bottom and keep my boobs. Like, I know there's no spot reduction, and I've heard people say this over and over again. But can you please put that myth to rest, that you can spot reduce, you can do 500 squats and have that banging booty and your waist, and then you're good to go. Like, it has to be all over.
Right, and that is the number one question. You know that, right, Lisa? That's the number one question that I'm asked on a weekly basis. And so what I actually even created a flyer about. So because I get asked, when I ask it, I just give them the information. This is how you want abs. This is what it takes. But abs really are made in the kitchen. And it is what you're eating that creates the adipose fat or visceral fat or belly fat. It's the food mostly, and then a sedentary lifestyle. You have other factors as well, lack of sleep. We also see a lot of stress. The hormone cortisol creates a pocket of fat in the abdomen. That is really hard to break through.
Yes.
But many of my clients who suffer from belly fat, they don't get enough rest. They have a stressful lifestyle. Whole grains, nuts, berries, things like kale, collards, all of the green healthy food veggies, belly fat response there, and so healthy fats as well. So you want to do things. It's just that whole life. If you create the lifestyle that we've been speaking about, that the belly fat will decrease. So for me, I had a lot of belly fat as well, and I had the boobs, I had everything. Like, I had the legs. I mean, I wanted so badly. Like, I could pick my stomach up and like move it over. Like, I could like hold it. I could faces with my belly fat. Like, I would just stand in the mirror and just like do that. Like, I don't know if anybody else
I'm so glad I'm not alone.
Yes, I would just be in there, like, I would be making my stomach talk. Like, because it was like you want to physically cut it off. Like, if you could, now this is just me. Maybe I was the only one. I just wanted to cut my belly off. I couldn't stand it. But what
Yes.
happened, I realized that no amount of ab workouts, or the plank challenge. People do these plank challenges, and then they eat some fried chicken right afterwards, and they have 2 kegs of
Mhm.
beer the next day. But they're doing the plank challenge, they're doing 1,000 crunches, but it will not show through because you've got the visceral fat, and the one of the other names of this fat is called omentum fat. And at Bella, we do a belly fat project where we measure everyone's waist. And so your belly circumference for women, this is another number that's really important for you to know, is if you're a woman, your belly should be 34 inches or less at your belly button. So you take a measuring tape. If it's greater than 34 inches, you're in a higher range. You're in that danger zone for high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, cancers of the stomach, diabetes, pre-metabolic syndrome. You're just more susceptible to things like that when you carry your weight here. So it's good that you got the weight in the boobs. If you got a big butt and legs, I'd rather you have it there and we can work that off than it be in the belly, because that literally can kill you eventually. And so I want people to so that you don't have to have the death sentence of cancer and all of these things that it's like we just sit around and just allow ourselves to get unhealthier, and the belly fat increases. And so if we can I want you to watch that number, but you don't really have to lifestyle, but I want to make sure that we are getting the belly fat down. And the way we'll know that is if the belly fat goes down, that means you're eating well, that means you're getting your water, that means you've done your balancing of your peace, you're trying to center yourself, because the stress is not keeping you held in your belly with the fat. So for guys,
Absolutely.
it needs to be 36 inches or less. So 34 for ladies, 36 or less for men. So that's you see guys a lot of times, they don't have arms, they don't have a chest, they don't have legs, but they got this big belly.
Yeah.
They're more susceptible to health issues than the guy who's just like fat all over, but maybe he doesn't have the belly fat.
Mm.
So that's why when I learned about the dangers of belly fat, and I was that girl who had the huge belly, like it was just horrible. And I only learned that within the past 4 years. I didn't know that I was, what that meant for me. So I try to educate people, because not a lot of people understand how dangerous it is to carry your weight there. So
Okay.
cardio, cleaning up that diet, getting more protein in, all of that helps to kind of shrink the belly, and it literally does suck in. It's almost like a balloon. And as women, we normally have 3 different belly measurements. You'll have an upper belly, you'll have a mid belly, and you got that little lower pouch. So I always take 3 measurements, and I monitor those 3, like each part of the belly, I monitor them. And so we can just kind of see, where the belly is going and how the fat is changing. So that's something that's really important to me, is educating people about that. So that was such a good question. Thank you for
Yes,
asking
yes.
that.
I definitely wanted to touch on that, and then I know we spoke about. So I feel like we've encompassed everything. We've talked about the body. We've talked about the mind. Now, before we wrap up, we have a few minutes. I just want to talk about the spirit. And I know it took a lot for you to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this lifestyle change. But is there like a quote that you have, or a scripture that you go to that you could leave someone with, so that it'll empower women to understand? Because there's a lot of women out here that want to do this lifestyle change, but for whatever reason, we have either allowed ourselves or someone or emotions or whatever may have you just to say that you can't do it. So for the spiritual piece of it, what has really kept you from not going back?
Okay.
Um,
What a good
like that.
question. Yes. Well, for me, I kind of feel like God has something planned for each of us, but He gives us the choice of how we're going to keep the temple that He's given us. And for me, I didn't really grasp that years ago. I wasn't taking care of the only thing that He'd really given me to make all of my dreams come true, and that's my body and my mind. So I was depressed. I was, an inward kind of girl at the time. I was, I just didn't have my temple together at the time, and I didn't realize how pertinent that is and how important it is to living a healthy lifestyle that we start from. So, because this is the journey of a lifetime, it is probably the single greatest thing that you can do for your family, for yourself, and for your future is to get healthy. And again, it's not really about the weight, because we know that weight has other the reason for the weight, it's another cause. And so when you fix the weight, it means you fix the other problems in your life. You know what I mean? The baggage.
Right. I think I'm losing you, or it's going in and out. But I get the,
Now,
I can hear you now. I can hear you again now. It's forever
okay.
going in and out. But just hearing you say that, it reminds me of there's a poster, and I'm going to post it to the group, where it shows a female, and she's dropping all these bags as she's walking into, I guess, her destiny. And that's the way I would entail, for me, that's going to be my representation every time I lose a pound. That I'm dropping those things that I feel like have been stopping me from going. So for me, having this call with you has been about finding that personal peace, because I feel like I'm ready for my body to change. I feel like I'm ready for my mind to change. And I've been working really hard this past week, because you asked me, hey, are you coming today? And I said, no, I need to give myself a week. And so I've been working on my spirit. So when I go in
Yes.
there, I'm not worried about the emotional when I leave there. Oh my God, that was so hard. I have to have a cupcake. I'm not worried about that anymore. So
Okay.
now I'm thinking more so when I leave Chaunda, we've cleaned where I told you I have a fitness center in the basement. My son
Yes.
cleaned everything off for me. So when I leave you, or the days that I'm not with you, I can get up early in the morning and go down there, turn my music on, and truly do the weight training. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm ready to do. So I'm really excited.
Oh, I
Um,
love it.
I'm excited, but I needed that week to get the
Lisa.
spirit together.
Awesome.
So I'm
I'm
excited.
so excited.
Yeah. We have like 3 minutes left,
Yeah,
and I want to be sensitive to your time. I want to give you a moment to tell everyone where they can reach you.
absolutely.
Yes.
You gotta. It starts there. Get your mind.
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, it's bellafitnessgroup.com. And you can find us on YouTube, Pinterest, and pretty much just Google the company name, Bella Fitness Group. And our studio is located in Lawrenceville. We're on Hurricane Shoals Road. And so we do personal training and boot camps. And we also have IMU University workshops that we are putting on for the community every once a month. And so we just invite you guys to check out the
Shonda, are you still there?
I'm still here. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
I can hear you now. For some reason, it blanked out. But what I'm going to do is, just in case they did not get all of your contact information, I'm going to make sure that I forward all your contact information in the group, as well as put a link in the YouTube video that's being recorded as well, so they can also follow you along with your website. And I know you have several YouTube videos. I even watched several that were at the Kula Park that you filmed several years ago. And I went out there and I did the push-ups on the rock that you mentioned. So I've been doing little things, and again, I just really want to thank you
Oh,
so much for just being a vessel in my life and never giving up on me, because I know we tried it before and I was successful. I kept going, but for whatever reason, our paths have crossed again, and I'm really excited because I look at you and I look at me, and you are very close to my height, And when I look at you, I said, there's no way in the world I should look like this. And Chaunda was able to take off the amount of weight she was. So I'm so pumped and excited. And I just thank you so very, very much for just truly taking the time. And everyone, I just have to tell you that Chaunda has been literally in the car filming this video because she had something to do, but she felt it so important to share her message with you all. And I really thank you for that. So we're going to get it tomorrow. I'm excited. Don't hurt me too hard now. I think I've lost her, but again, I just wanted to wrap up and say thank you so very much to Chaunda of the Bella Fitness Group. Again, I'm going to put all her contact information on the YouTube video as well as in our Facebook group. If you would like to join the Facebook group, please contact us. You can contact me. My name is Lisa Collins, and I am the owner of Brown Sugar Chic. Or you can reach me on Facebook at Facebook/Brown Sugar Chic, or you can reach me at info@brownsugarchic.com. And I will be happy to share all of her information with you. And I just want to thank you for viewing, and let's get started on this journey together. Look forward to speaking with you. Take care.